Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to be looking at book 5 in the Last Apprentice series, or the Wardstone Chronicles, I believe is what they're called in Britain, most commonly called the Spooks. So this is book 5. Now, if you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, check out the rest of the videos. Again, this is book 5 in this book series. They have to be read in order, otherwise they don't make sense. It's one of those type of book series. So I have a whole introduction and book 1 through 4 that you need to watch, otherwise this will not make sense. Unless, of course, you've already read this book series. Then this might make sense. So let's look at this book. So in the Wrath of the Bloodeye, I'll look up, what is the British title of this book? I quickly pull up the Wardstone Chronicles. Yes, I was correct. That's what they're called in Britain. This is called The Spook's Mistake. So, which makes a lot of sense. So, in this case, Tom is sent by his master, the Spook, John Gregory, up north to spend 6 months with one of the Spook's former apprentices, Bill Arkwright. Is that his name here? I'm mispronouncing his name. Yeah, Bill Arkwright. He lives up in a very, very swampy area near the mountains where there's lots and lots of water. And one of the reasons the Spook sends him up to apprentice for 6 months with Mr. Arkwright is because this Spook has some issues. Besides being a raging alcoholic, he's there to teach Tom, basically to toughen him up. Essentially, he's there to teach him how to fight and to deal with water witches. And yes, Arkwright is a raging alcoholic whose mother accidentally died. And no, his father accidentally died, and then his mother committed suicide. And they're kind of chained by the Fiend and unable, or at least his mother is unable to pass on. So their coffins are upstairs and he talks to their ghosts. So, again, he gets really, really pissed off when Tom finds out about this. They fight. Again, this guy's a raging alcoholic. He has some mental health issues. But he's actually a decent spook. So originally, and the reason, besides toughening him up, there's a war going on, as is found out in book 4. It's not going well, so they're sending basically conscription teams wandering around, and they actually tried to capture Tom. And the country is very poor because there's a war going on. The Fiend is making things depressing. So things are not very, very good in the county. Which, if you're not familiar with the Spook series, I don't know if I've mentioned this, it's based off where the author is from in England. So Lancaster County. So in England, not Pennsylvania, or anywhere else in the United States. This is the original Lancaster County in England, on the coast near the Irish Sea, which apparently is important later on in later books. All right, back to this thing. So essentially, they're trying to capture Tom, and Jonathan Gregory doesn't believe that they'll pretty much go after him up north in the swamps, so to speak. So he sends Tom up there, and Alice stays down with the Spook. So, much to her being not really happy about this. So he goes up there, deals with the raging alcoholic, originally tries to leave him, basically is handed a letter from the Spook sent to his former apprentice there, explaining why. So he stays on, and they end up having to deal with water witches, and specifically dealing with this witch called the Bloodeye, who is a daughter of the Fiend himself. And you find out some interesting information from the Spook. Essentially, he's attacked. He gets drunk one night, and he's captured by the this water witch. And though instantly Tom thinks he's dead, this man has 2 bloodhounds, and Tom has one of them with him, the female, who oddly enough is pregnant. And yes, for some reason I think that's important, because she ends up having puppies. The male dog is killed. Arkwright is captured. Tom actually thinks he's dead. So he has to, and this dog had to find his way back through the swamps and back, essentially, home. Now, he had sent a message, I believe, through a mirror to Alice to, essentially, it's like, trouble, help. And so they ended up coming. He gets back to the house. Alice is there. They have some interesting interactions with the now dead ferryman. He carries Salt up, and he's like I don't know if it's a boat or what. He does a barge kind of thing. Who turns out have been killed by the Fiend, and you get some information about who Alice really is. And the Fiend is nasty, and you find out that the Fiend cannot kill Tom directly, or he can only destroy the earth for 100 years, which is not a long time for an immortal being. So if one of his children kills him, it's fine, he can rule for all eternity kind of thing. So that's why he's trying to get his daughter to kill Tom. They escape, him and Alice get away. They team back up with the Spook. They realize Arkwright isn't dead. They go back to where they think he's being held captive. They get down there. Tom has an interesting interaction with the Grimkin, who, if you remember from the previous book, is the witch hunter, the female witch hunter. She belongs to Alice's Milken family. And you find out that some of the witches are, after bringing the Fiend back, realize, oh crap, we can't control this. We don't want to be controlled by this. So you have some who are worshiping the little living daylights out of this thing, and some, like the Grimkin, who are like, no, we don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be in service to the devil, essentially. So the Grimkin actually helps Tom out, and you get kind of the first inklings of who this woman is. And so they get away, they kill this, they get Arkwright back, they get back to his house, but something strange is going on. So what ends up happening is Tom makes a deal with the Fiend, who freezes them. And basically he says, I will kill everybody, or you can battle my daughter, and if you survive, I will let them go. If you don't, then I kill everyone. So he actually does destroy her with the help of the Grimkin, and he has that silver chain from his mother. A lot of other witches die in this. Apparently the Fiend reveals some interesting information about Alice. Alice is his daughter. So she is the daughter of a witch and essentially the devil himself. So that's a little interesting. Gregory is not happy about this. He banishes Alice and forbids Tom from communicating with her, because again, he's used a mirror to talk to her. She wants him to take some of what she says is the Fiend's blood. Actually, it's her blood, to protect him. He refuses. So Alice goes back, at the end of this book, goes back to Pendle to be with her family and learn more witchy stuff. And no, that's not the end of Alice. Of course it's not. That's not the end of the series. Alice has a very, very big part to play. Of which I'm not done to finish reading this series yet, so I don't know. There is an entire book devoted to her, as well as the Grimkin, later in the book series. So, but at the end of this, Tom gets a letter from his mother saying she's coming back from Greece because she needs his help. And so that's the end of this book. So we get a little bit more information on the Fiend, some information on Alice, an introduction to Bill Arkwright, who plays an important role in the next book. No, he doesn't live. Cliffhanger there. No, he doesn't live. But there's all sorts of interesting things. But that is a completely different review. So that's the end of this book. Again, this is a part of a long, overreaching story. They're very, very dark. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not my favorite series. I'm not a really dark person, but I had started the series many years ago. And similar to, if you check out, I do the whole, the Ranger's Apprentice book series. This is another, I found these when I was a library page, more than a decade ago. And this is me completing them, and it's fall, so it's a good time of year to do reviews on this book series. And despite the fact that they're really dark, they are actually very, very good. I don't think, is this one? Yeah, similar to the other ones. And one of the things I will point out, the reason I like these in physical form is because they, let's see, I'm going to show this. One, it has pictures, but does, yeah. You have the Tom's journal at the back of these books. So you get some more information about different creatures and different things that they interact with. So there's also photographs. So you don't get these in ebook form, at least not very well. So you get the images here in these books. So they're really good to have them in physical form. And I will be reviewing them all in physical form with the exception, I think, of Slither, because my library only has it in audiobook, though I did request it through them because they need to do something in physical form or ebook form. So, but again, that's the end of this review. If you have not seen the rest of the reviews for this book series, check them out. This will make more sense. I will be finishing the book series. It is 13 books long, and this is book 5. So we are a little less than halfway through, and there's a few extras in here as well. So if you like this review, like and subscribe. Wait for the rest of them. Check out the rest of my channel. I do a lot of children's book reviews, younger children's book reviews. Don't always go this dark. It's just the time of year. I covered all of Harry Potter because I'm crazy and it doesn't go away. I did another long book series called The Ranger's Apprentice, which is far more medieval fantasy, slightly less dark than this, and dozens upon dozens of children's picture books, most of which are a heck of a lot lighter than this, and some more nonfiction stuff. So I have quite a few book reviews. I am focused on homeschooling. We are a secular and really non-religious homeschooling family. So I do a sprinkling of videos for that, as well as a sprinkling of kids' travel videos. So again, like and subscribe. Check out the rest of what I've got. Thank you.